Hello, everybody. I just want to welcome you to another IDEAChatCNY. This is your host, Scott Friedberg. IDEAChatCNY is a live web series based at Syracuse University dedicated to helping budding entrepreneurs and thought leaders all over the globe. We do interviews with awesome people doing amazing things so you can get the advice you need to launch your ideas or land great jobs. In the past, we've covered topics related to startups, tech, design, media, and more. Before we bring on our guest, I want to invite you all to use the hashtag IdeaChatCNY on Twitter to send in questions or comments. You can also submit questions with the blue button or comment in the live chat feed on the right. Also, follow at IdeaCUs to stay up to date on the latest news, trends, and more happening in Central New York and beyond. So today, we're going to be talking with Jamar Clark about his journey from CrossFit gym trainer to founder. So here's a little bit of background about Jamar before we bring him on. Throughout his career, Jamar has always thrived to be the best. His most rewarding moments are seeing athletes accomplish challenges. He believes everyone has some type of competitiveness in their blood. His mission is to pull that out of each and every individual that walks through the Urban Life CrossFit doors. Feel free to follow at UrbanLifeCF on Twitter, and please check out urbanlifecrossfit.com. So without further ado, let's meet Jamar Clark. Hey, what's up, Jamar?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
Not too bad. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. All right. So before we get into the Jamar CrossFit era, let's start with a little bit of background. What's your story? What led up to all of this?
Well, I was an athlete growing up as a kid, and when I went to college, I went to SUNY Cortland, and I wanted to be a gym teacher, just because I like the idea of fitness, and I just wanted to, pass that on to others. And then as I got into college, and I realized that the physical training field was getting huge, and actually the gym teacher deal was not so big at all. I was actually losing opportunities. So I switched my major to exercise science, and I was also playing baseball for SUNY Cortland, and I ended up getting drafted to play minor league baseball. So that kind of gave me a bigger vision on what else was out there once I went and played ball. So I came back to school my senior year, finished in exercise science, and I had that decision right there that I was going to be a trainer and I was going to change things and kind of stay ahead of the game. So from there, I worked at Fagan's actually up on the university for a little while as a bartender, as a manager actually, and just to get out some kinks and being young and stuff like that. And believe it or not, bartending is actually a good networking opportunity. So I took it from there and went down. I opened up a CrossFit called Salt City CrossFit just as a GM, and took it from 50 members to 350 members in a matter of 7 months. And then right then and there, I knew that it was time for me to open up my own place.
So I know you went to college for exercise science and you've always been an athlete, but why did you choose CrossFit? I mean, there's all these different, workout trends out there. There's traditional gyms. What drew you to CrossFit?
Um, just a high intensity. It's just a different environment, not just from the workout itself, but just from the camaraderie within the class. The one thing I hated about going to a traditional gym is, you walk in the gym with your headphones on and you may know everyone in there, but you don't say anything to anyone. You just walk in and do your thing.
Mhm.
And some days you leave the gym within 20 minutes, some days you leave an hour and a half. It's just because there's no accountability there, and that's one thing I didn't like. So within CrossFit is you walk in, you have an hour's workout, everyone is going through the same hell that you are. And when you get done, you always say, that was a terrible workout, but I'll be back tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I just love that aspect of it.
Awesome. All right. So when we talked yesterday, we kind of talked and said, there's some parallels for sure between, you being a trainer, then going out and, starting your own gym, as to somebody who's, let's say, working in a corporation and they find a problem that they want to solve and they go out with some people and, they start their own business. So what was that aha moment when it clicked for you that you just said, I mean, you were doing great as a trainer. You obviously loved it. I'm sure you're having a great time. But what was that moment? Describe that moment and tell us about it when you said, all right, I'm going to have the courage to go out and take the risk and start something on my own?
Well, it was kind of tricky. The thing is, when you go on your own, you want to have a solid team. Unless you're going to go on your own by yourself, obviously. But two minds is better than one. Three brains are even better. And I trained a guy by the name of Eric Hinman, who is my business partner now, and I've been training him for 3 years, and he has unbelievable talent inside the gym and outside the gym, and he brought a good portion of things to the table that I lack. So it's kind of like picking those guys that you're weak at. Their strong links are your weak links, and when you can bring those together, it works out really well. So when I was training at Salt City, him and I just talked, and I had a big following from training prior, so I had 5 years of experience before I started Salt City, and it was just building, and I could just see uh, the volume of members that were coming in for me and the following that was starting. So I just wanted to take that up on my own, and I seen what people were paying and how much was coming in, and how loyal members really are as long as you treat them well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So just to help some people out that might be going into, those corporate jobs, just tell them a little bit about, how you're able to take the problems that you saw at your other job when you were, an employee, and you were able to take them and solve them with your own business, because that's something that I know a lot of
Abs-
people just naturally want to do. So what were those things for you?
Absolutely. I think my biggest draw was again is it was customer service. I lost, several members in the process due to poor customer service and things like that. And you learn from them and you make it better. But at the same time, you're never able to recycle through a member that's gone through a gym facility. Unfortunately, once they leave, more than likely they're not coming back.
Hmm.
So the deal is, once you get them in the facility, you want to keep them. And I learned that there at Salt City, and I'm glad I learned it there rather than my own place. So when I bring it here, I give number one experience as possible. You only get one chance to give a first impression. If you don't give a solid impression, then more than likely when they leave, they're not coming back.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I mean, the experience at Urban Life is just second to none. So
Yeah.
we talked about team, and I know you guys have a great team. Love all you guys. Um, but tell me a little bit more about your team. I know how you found Eric. You were training him, but tell me about Tommy and the rest of the crew, and the moments when you guys were talking, and how it all came together.
Absolutely. Actually, I have four partners, so there's five of us. One who actually works aside of me, her name is Megan Murphy, and she is probably the best, and I'm saying the best female trainer and seeing why. Not only can she perform, but she can coach, and she's very personable and motivating. And I've known her for 20 years. I actually grew up with her, and it's funny because I hadn't seen her since high school, and she showed up to Salt City for a workout, and it was like, that was one of the things I seen her. She was like a lacrosse captain, and she played D1 lacrosse,
Hmm.
and she just had that leadership that I was looking for, and I offered her a job at Salt City, and she ended up doing tremendous. Then I had my other partner here, Thomas Anthis. I've known him for 7 years as well, and I've actually trained him through college. And he's just an incredible athlete, and he has an incredible passion for fitness. And just being one of the biggest advocates for myself, I knew I could believe in him as far as pushing a product. And one important thing is when you open a business is making a brand. Right? If you make a brand, everyone will know your brand or your logo or your name, and it'll just spread like wildfire as long as you give people that experience. And someone who agrees with me so much that on that sense of the brand making and the experience is Eric Hinman, who I talked briefly about earlier. He's a professional triathlete. He has a huge following, a huge network, and he's very passionate again about fitness. And his network alone, is something that was very valuable to urban life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my fourth partner, uh, Stefan Lasher. He's the money man, so he owns a financial advising company, and he's again his hobby was fitness, and what's important is you don't want to involve anyone into your business or into your investment unless that really is their passion. If
Right.
it's not their passion, you're not going to get everything out of them.
Mm.
And the financial advising, that's a job for him, but his passion is fitness, but he's really good with numbers. So I took him into account because of accounting reasons, tax reasons, all that behind the business stuff that you don't think about that you have to deal with until they're right there in front of your face. And quite honestly, I don't even worry about it, paying bills. I don't worry about doing any of that. All I worry about is giving members an experience, making sure they stay, and making everyone happy.
Yeah, so you talk about kind of finding people to team up with that I guess have skills and qualities that kind of make up for, areas that you don't necessarily have. And that's definitely great. But an area that I guess people kind of say to shy away from is, starting a business or working on a business with friends or family. So I want to hear about some of the positives and negatives of that and how you overcome them.
Yep. I have to say, friends. Friends, you become a little bit more lenient with things that you probably would never be okay with if it was a regular employee. So
Mm,
that's probably really the only downfall, and there's a lot of positive to it because if you're bringing them, they're really looking out for the best interest of the team as a whole, not really themselves, not really you, but everyone all together. And
mm.
if you think by yourself, sometimes you can get that tunnel vision.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I mean, as far as challenges that you've overcome, I mean, I've seen the place. It's doing great. Big things are coming for urban life. But I mean, what has been your biggest challenge this far? I mean, there has to be some challenges. It's never an easy road to starting a business. And how have you overcome these challenges?
Uh, I guess the competition. I can't say really the competition of other gyms is a challenge because I strongly believe that we're on a different level than everyone else. It's everything that's going on within. It's just keeping things new. It's keeping members interested. It's keeping members involved. Keeping the price right for the experience they're getting. And that's a huge challenge. And a challenge that I'm having right now is I've only been open for 3.5 months, and I'm already looking to expand in twice the amount of space. I have 4,500 square feet now, but now I'm looking for 9,000. But that's a huge, huge risk
Yeah.
in the sense that if I grow too early, sometimes that can be a bad thing. So I'm hesitant to make. That's my biggest challenge right now. Is I don't know whether I should follow through with it or not, which my gut is telling me I'm going to.
Yeah, I mean, just touching on that whole point and a kind of again like a parallel to the whole traditional entrepreneurship thing of it's kind of starting small, figuring out everything, figuring out the goods, the bads, solving whatever problems you overcome before you get big. And that's kind of what I feel like you've been doing with this, now that you're ready to, really take this to the next level, you've learned the business in and out. Now you're ready to go. So I think the timing's
Yep,
right on.
absolutely.
So, a
With,
big
with any business, I'm sorry, go ahead, Scott.
Okay. Yeah, no, just a big thing with urban life, and I think it's a huge competitive advantage, and it's really at its core is that it's more than just a CrossFit gym. And I feel like, people that typically are owning, a CrossFit gym, they're less into, business, and it's more of just, creating a fitness experience for people. Whereas I see you have this whole business acumen and you see it as a much bigger picture. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're creating the best fitness experience for everybody, but the amount of things that you've put into the community, events, partnerships. It's just, it just doesn't compare to the other gyms around there. So tell me a little bit more. I know you're really passionate about this philosophy of creating a community and, giving 110% to all your members. But I want to hear more about that because I think that's really something that I could say that I've learned from you. And I really want to make sure that others can as well.
Yeah, I'm huge when it comes to local advocacy and local business and just the community within itself. For example, I've partnered up with Lofo, partnered up with O Yoga, partnered up with Syracuse Bicycle. We're now partnered up with the 70.3 triathlon. And we're still going. I'm looking to partner up with Syracuse, which is more than likely going to happen. And all those things, just all those experiences, bringing them into one full package is unbeatable. And what happens when you bring local companies and your community together, more than likely, all those people have the same likes and the same behaviors and and the same wants. So it all works really well and really meshes in the sense that if you make, for example, I'm having an event Saturday for the Syracuse Duke game. We're having it at the Palace Theater, and the Palace Theater is actually someone we partnered up with as well. And we're pushing somewhere near 1,000 people into that Palace Theater, and we pay for everything. It's not about money. It's just about bringing everyone together and networking and meeting new people and trying to get the best out of everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be a really cool event. You said ESPN Game Day is going to be there. That's going to be something
Yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty sick.
Yeah, so just touching back, I kind of want to get your feel on this. Do you think this is how you went about it, but do you think it is really necessary to be working in and experienced in an industry before you get into it? I mean, do you think that's necessarily better than kind of diving right into something and learning as you go? I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to both, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, I say you should definitely work in the field that you want to open, your business in before you actually open it. For one simple reason, and that's, the mistakes will be somewhat on someone else's expense, not really yours, and you won't feel it at the end of the day. That may sound selfish, but if something was to go wrong, maybe it's not because of your reaction or your action, it's because of someone else's, but you can actually see what's going on and how it's handled and what happened, and you can take that and learn from it and put that towards your business.
Yeah, no,
And I did that. There were ups and downs with Salt City when I started. The first 3 4 months where no one was walking through the door, and then we made a quick change and it blew up, and then it blew up so quickly, you started to lose that interaction and that connection with the members because it got so big,
absolutely.
and that actually was a negative thing. And I'm glad I learned that there, and now I could take it here and do things different.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're obviously, I mean, starting Urban Life's a great decision. It's a huge success already. But there's definitely some negatives to having your own business, I mean, at the end of the day, everything really comes back down to you. So, I mean, what are some of the things that have been tough? Maybe sometimes, not sure, maybe sometimes you wish you had a little bit less responsibility. So I want to hear a little bit about that and
Yeah.
a little bit about the negatives because it's not all positive.
Yeah. Uh, I say one big negative is you don't have time for yourself anymore. You kind of lose a sense of life because your life is business. So that's one huge thing. Like I really don't have time for family or the girlfriend thing. I don't have time for anything. I literally go home and go to bed, and I live here. And
Hmm.
trust me, I love it and it's doing well. But there are some days I'd like to, get back to life. Like I don't even know what's going on really in the NBA, the NFL, or anything. I
Uh,
just all I know is what's going on is Chiefs Duke game.
all right, awesome. All right. Well, I think that, that was definitely a good background on, everything and all these experiences. So let's take a moment to answer some of the audience's questions because I've got all my questions answered already.
Absolutely.
So a question from Clark McKinnon, who's actually a designer here in Syracuse and works out of Boulder. How has your branding and logo design elevated your business?
Oh man, I guess I can turn a little bit so you can see it. That logo right there is probably the most simplistic and urban and just like modern logo for a gym around, and people really really love it because it what you see is what you get. You know what that means. It just looks very intriguing, and that logo itself has brought us to a whole different, I can say, standard in the sense that a lot of people that are coming we get our demographics is young professionals, college students, that type of thing. So when they see that logo, they're walking in already with an expectation for us to be high, and that's what
Absolutely.
we got to give them. So it's definitely driven things a lot higher.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
just to go a little bit further onto that, I know you had, the like kind of graffiti design. If you want to talk a little bit more about that, because I know, I mean, that's awesome. I
Oh yeah.
watched it from start to finish, and it just looks awesome now.
Absolutely. Well, the way when I looked at 5 buildings before I took this building, and this was the first building, and it was actually my last building I looked at, but the first building that I actually felt like this is the one. Myself and my partner Eric, we just wanted to go for a really like New York City style, urban, industrial look with the open brick walls, graffiti everywhere, and we just wanted, we wanted to feel like exclusive, like this is the place to be, and
Absolutely.
um, So when you walk up those stairs, the 4 flights of stairs, and you walk into the gym and you see, you're not expecting to see, from literally from the floor to ceiling graffiti all over the wall, and it's all handwritten graffiti by my good friend from high school. And it looks pretty sick, and it started off as nothing, and it just adds on every day, and that within itself is an experience. Not even our training, not our website, nothing. The wall itself is just
Absolutely.
it gives people something to remember.
Yeah, I agree. So another question. Jamar Hinman mentioned that Urban Life has partnered with Lofo to provide meal plans. Can you give an overview? Hold on. Can you give an overview of what they look like, the kind of food, and how much it costs?
Sure. All right, so we partnered up with Lofo. If you're not familiar with Lofo, Lofo is the local foods. It used to be vegan, but it's not vegan anymore. It's actually heavy into protein, like meats, as far as that's concerned. And it's right downtown across the street from Urban Outfitters. And what Lofo provides, as far as our meal plans goes, it provides a full nutrition with enough carbs and enough protein to get you through, the workouts that you get here at Urban Life, but it also gets you through your everyday activity, regardless if you're a runner, a swimmer, and so on and so forth. And the only difference between our meal plans and the actual local meal plan is that you're getting more of a scaled measurement on, let's just say, portions of your food. So you're getting larger portions of protein rather than, the bad carbs like the bread and stuff like that. You won't get any of that type of stuff in our meals. Our meals are pretty much restrictive, so to speak, but very good. That they're, you get exotic vegetables that you've never tasted that are awesome. It's just that again is an experience within itself. Every week I get a plate. That's a good amount. If you eat your lunch, it's great, and your dinner is even bigger. So you go to bed feeling full and you feel nice, and it's a healthy full. You're not feeling bloated. So and that's what we're really looking for.
Yeah, I can vouch. It's absolutely delicious. I love Lofo. And I don't know if
Good.
everyone saw, but the Lofo website was actually just on screen if anyone wants to check it out.
Yeah. Lofo, you can just check it out right on the Lofo website. You'll see the Urban Life Meals right on the front page. So as soon as you go to their website, it should say Urban Life Meals available. Click on that, and it'll take you from there. Lunches are $55. Then you have the option of just getting dinners, which would be around like a $75 range. And then if you want it both, it's like $100 to $140, depending on if you want an extra protein. There's little things you can add as the price gets up.
Yeah, for the quality of food, I mean, I don't think you can beat that.
Oh yeah,
So I think it looks like
it's amazing.
it looks like we sparked some interest for the upcoming game on or the upcoming event on Saturday, the ESPN Game Day. Where can we get some more information about the Palace Theater event?
Just like our Facebook page, it's there's new stuff on there every day. We'll be giving out T-shirts. There'll be food. There'll be booze. There'll be the whole 9 yards there. We'll be having fun. We have a 25 by 30 foot screen up there. If you come in, just give them my name, and you'll be allowed up to our VIP section. We have a VIP section in the balcony, which is a huge bar and a huge open kitchen where it'll be like a Brazilian steakhouse style. They'll be cutting up turkeys and so on and so forth, making like fresh turkey sandwiches and things of that nature, and it'll just be a lot of fun. TVs everywhere,
Sounds awesome.
and our own halftime show at ESPN.
Everyone better look out for that. That's going to be great. All right, so
Yeah, it'll be
Jamar,
good. It'll be good.
this has been great, my man. We're running out of time. Any last words of wisdom for the viewers?
Yes. If you were looking, I'm 28 years old, 29, actually just turned 29. If you were looking to open up your own business, it's about patience. It really is. And I could say patience could be your worst enemy. If you're not patient, you can make a poor decision. So if anything, just get the most experience as possible before you jump into it, and do as much research as possible too, whether it be online. I tend to think that it's more uh, beneficial to research by talking to actual people that have gone through it. Don't always go online. Try to figure out, that network that you can, set up a meeting with someone that's gone through some trial or tribulation that you're looking to go towards, and that'll help you a lot because again, it's about learning from other people's experience and not just
100%.
yours. So patience is important.
Okay, great. All right, thank you again, Jamar. Hopefully, I see you Saturday. Have a good one, my man.
I appreciate it.
All right, so that wraps up another Idea Chat CNY. Once again, follow Jamar Clark on Twitter at UrbanLifeCF and visit their website, urbanlifecrossfit.com, to learn more. So to keep the conversation going on Twitter, please use the hashtag IdeaChatCNY and tag at IdeaCuse. Check out our previous shows and tune into our next show with Courtney Futch from Thundercakes, where we'll be talking about small business versus tech startups. We'll see you next time on Idea Chat CNY.